So you look like you have some pretty good rhythm in your stroke, which is really good. So you said your left shoulder was a bit off. Is that right? Yeah. So it looks to me like your left side is a little bit shorter in terms of stroke than your right side. Okay. So to me, a key thing that stands out is I think you need a tad more shoulder rotation. Okay. When you reach out in front, just go a little bit more with the shoulders. You do seem relatively connected with the hips as well, so that's good. So a little bit more rotation at the shoulders. Sometimes I thought you could go a little bit more onto your left side. Just at that shoulder, just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit more onto the left side.
Yeah. Breathing that side is the one I have problems with. So breathing that way.
Breathing to the right with the left arm out in front?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So why that is to me is your left arm starts pulling down too early.
Okay.
So it's only a fraction more, but you would need to work on just reaching out a little bit more with that left side, spending a fraction of extra time on that left side before pulling. So more glide on the left side, and it would balance out with the right. So that's the main difference between the two, is that your left side is pulling down before it's ready.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and because it's pulling down a bit too early, it's pulling down a bit flat and straight. Okay. I do think your body position can slightly improve, just getting your hips up a fraction higher. Just there. So with body position, there's a drill that gets sent through called body position kick. Now this one's a really good one to do, and basically it's going to involve sucking up your guts this way. So you're going to suck up through that midsection there, and you're going to lift your hips and your upper back to the surface when you practice this. And you only have to do it for a little bit. But swimming this way, it's going to cause all these muscles down here to work overtime when you practice this type of drill, and it just gets everything to engage and used to sitting up nice and high. So this drill, you typically do it either arms by your side or arms out in front, and it's just a kicking drill.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you can still wear your flippers. You can put on a snorkel.
That was being recorded.
Yep.
Just play it over and over again.
Yep.
He said I could wear my flippers.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. And if it's too easy, take the fins off.
Cool.
So what you're looking to do is you're looking to get your hips and your upper back out of the water. And all you have to do that is by sucking up with this part here, sucking that up there, and you're just going to kick and hold those points out of the water. You always want to make sure your head's at the surface as well. Okay, so what that's going to do is going to force all the muscles down in your midsection to switch on. It's going to cause your glutes and your legs to also switch on a way that assists body position.
Okay.
Okay, so I'd recommend if you've got fins on, you can probably go, 6 to 10 25s of that drill. If you're doing without fins, probably just get away with 3 25s per session if you want. If you want to do more, you can. I think start with fins. Seeing you swim, it'd be all right to do without fins.
Yeah.
But it's a very intensive drill. That's why you don't need to do too much of it.
Cool.
So I think you can be actually a tad narrower with that left side as well. Just coming in a little bit wide there. So I think that when you reach out in front, just reach out a little bit narrower.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
It's funny, when you were talking about the train tracks, I used to cross over.
Oh, really?
And one of the swim coaches that we had at our local squad, she said, think about, keeping your arms out. It's going to feel much wider. So I've obviously overcompensated at some point.
Yeah.
Because I've gone from crossing over the middle to being out too wide now.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So that's a pretty good change then. If you're coming right across and that's where you're at now, that's really good. Your left arm just needs to come a little bit narrower, and you need to just reach a little bit more and hold that left side out a bit longer.
That longer glide might sort of help that as well.
Yeah.
On that side.
Okay, so I guess the next thing that I'm looking at is just acceleration through the stroke. Okay, so I still think whilst you have a good catch there, I still think there's more room to go in it, and it's not necessarily in the skill of doing the movement. It's going to be its pace to which you can get into that position. So I think that you do continue working on this drill, because I can see that if you were to be able to get into this position with a little bit more length, more shoulder rotation, just a little bit more length there, getting into that catch position, I can just see you getting a lot more leverage from your elbow and your forearm and pulling through. So I can just see that reaching out there, getting over the top of the stroke, and just having a lot more weight under the forearm and the elbow, and being able to accelerate that back. So I think I think continue working on catch drills, and doggy scoop I think would also be a really good drill for you. So we're not doing that today. Have you done doggy scoop before?
I don't think so.
Okay, so basically it's just a very repetitive drill where you practice reaching out in front and then doing the catch movement.
Okay.
And then you just put your arm out in front. So it just looks like this. Basically it's just like this.
Right.
And when you reach out and you start catching the water, you look to feel the water pressure on your hand on the way down. And the good thing about this drill is it's scalable. So you can practice it doing, one arm at a time. You can practice doing it slow, and then you can practice doing it really fast. So it just helps you sort of reach out and get onto the catch a lot sooner.
Okay.
And then what I'd suggest is from that doing single arm freestyle, so one arm at a time. You'd practice catching the water, and you'd really try and accelerate through the stroke.
Yeah.
Okay, so really get a good hold of the water, and just really powerfully pull back there.
Okay.
So I think you have a really good pace and timing with your stroke. It looks really easy, and I think that there's room to a bit more stroke length, getting over your catch just a little bit quicker, and learning once you're over your stroke to develop a little bit more power in the pull through. So I think that's the next phase for you. I think you've got a lot of pieces in place. I think now you can start looking at power generation and training that over time.
Cool.